I smashed a volley, my opponents couldn't return it, and we won the point. But I'm windmilling. Can I ever step into the kitchen? I can? When? Hey everybody, I'm CJ Johnson, and Better Pickleball is dedicated to helping players over 50 live their best lives on and off the courts. So if you never want to miss out on the latest in instruction, gear, and fitness, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification. I recently did an AMA, Ask Me Anything, with certified referee and referee trainer Don Stanley. Of course, there were a multitude of questions about the non-volley zone, or if some of you like to affectionately call it, the kitchen. What you didn't see is after this segment was over, Don and I continued to talk about the non-volley zone. We were curious as to why people had the same misconceptions and seemed to ask the same questions repeatedly. That's when I decided it was time to go back and start answering the questions that I hear most. I frequently hear questions about volleys and momentum. They usually sound something like this. I hit a smash volley. My opponents were unable to return it, and it ended the point. I know my momentum can't carry me into the kitchen, even after the ball is dead, but how long does it last? When can I step into the non-volley zone? They're asking for clarification on Rule 9b and 9b1. Rule 9b states, it is a fault if the volleying player or anything that has contact with the volleying player while in the act of volleying touches the non-volley zone. 9b1 says the act of volleying the ball includes the swing, the follow-through, and the momentum from the action. In order to delve a little deeper, let's make sure that we all know the definitions of what's involved. If you need a rule book, click down in the show notes. There's a link to a free PDF. Let's define volley. 3.A.44 defines volley as during a rally, a strike of the ball out of the air before the ball has bounced. What's a dead ball? Rule 3.A.4 says that a dead ball is a ball that's no longer in play. Next, let's talk about a fault. 3.A.11 says that a fault is a rules violation that results in a dead ball and the end of the rally. There can be a multitude of ways that you could have a fault. In this instance, the ball bounced twice because my opponents couldn't return the smash volley. So what about your momentum? And can you ever step in the kitchen? Here's what Don had to say.
Up at the line, I smash a volley, okay? Then I start to windmill, and then the ball bounces once in the court and then twice, say, out of bounds, what would normally be a good shot for me. Up until this point, right now, technically, I've won the rally. But my momentum windmilling, and then I eventually, boom, step in the zone. There is no time limit, per se, on your momentum carrying you into the zone. So even if the ball is dead, if my momentum is judged by the referee to have taken me into the zone, that is a fault. Even if the ball has gone onto the other court and everybody's turned off the lights and gone home, there is no time limit on a momentum issue taking you into the zone and being a fault. The phrase that is used, I think, in the ref handbook and very commonly used is the ref needs to see that the player has regained bodily control. Okay, so if I'm windmilling and then stop and reset, shall we say, I've regained bodily control. I've had this happen several times. A player will smash a volley, and it's actually match point or game point, and then they'll smash a volley, they'll win the point, they recover slightly, or let's say they pull back for a second, so they'll pull themselves away from the zone. Then the match is over, the game is over, they step into the zone to go touch paddles. He had regained his control and had self-composure, regain bodily control, and after that point, basically we're good to go, if that makes sense. The momentum it has stopped when a player regains their bodily control. Now let's talk about somebody who poaches, and they run over, they poach, and they're running across, tiptoeing, to not step on the NVZ. That one can last 3 or 4 or 5 steps. Okay, it's when the ref determines, okay, you have regained your bodily control. You're in control of yourself. You're in control of yourself, not the momentum is control of you. And when that happens, you're good to go.
If you want to learn more about the rules, as I mentioned before, there's a free PDF in the show notes down below. And if you click over here, you can watch the entire Ask Me Anything with Don Stanley. If you got value from this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your pickleball playing friends. Because together, we can train smart, live bold, and age well.